Good morning from our little cabin. Today, I woke up really early again, about 5:30, but we are driving to another national park. We're in Ashford at the minute, and we are driving to Forks, so the other side of Washington State. So it's going to take us about 4 hours to drive there, but we've got a few things we wanted to do on the way. It's actually raining today, as you can probably see behind me, which is pretty common for the Pacific Northwest, even in the summer. So we're not too worried, and we've got rain jackets in the car, so we should be all good. So there are thousands of these little cafe chalets in the Pacific Northwest. We're in Ashford at the moment, there's one here. America have a bit of a weird situation with their post boxes. So their post boxes are like outside their houses, all along the main road. So when you drive along like this, you can just see loads of post boxes hanging out on the side of the road. This makes it very easy for your postmaster because he just drives along this road. He doesn't have to go off into any of the houses or anything. But it's just very different from the UK. You just see on a long road, you just see loads of post boxes. Here's more of the post box examples. Posty must have a field day down here. Look, he doesn't just stop every metre. You might be surprised to learn that much like Vancouver Island or Vancouver, there are loads and loads of islands to the east of Seattle. So we had to cross over quite a few bridges to get to Port Angeles, and that's about a 3-hour drive from Tacoma, which is where we stopped to pick up some food. One of the nice things about the US is there's plenty of rest stops by the side of the roads. If you need to loo, they usually have pit toilets. Some of the local Indian tribes maintain these toilets on these routes in exchange for the funds that they make from the gift shop. So they can be a good place as well to learn about the local tribes, as there's often an information board at these stops. There are many Indian tribespeople in this area of the Pacific Northwest. Unlike the native people in Arizona, they do tend to use the word Indian to describe themselves, so it can be a little confusing if you want to lump all native people together, because they all use different English terms to describe themselves, and what is offensive to one group of people is totally accepted within a completely different tribe. Lake Crescent is one of the largest lakes within the Olympic Peninsula. We stopped here for lunch as it was getting quite late in the day. We previously stopped at Whole Foods in Tacoma and purchased seed salad bowls from the fresh counter. Okay, today we are at Olympic National Park and we are walking the Marymere Falls Trail. Olympic National Park is much bigger than you might expect, and our hike is just a tiny little dot at the northern end of this map.
So we are in Olympic National Park and we are walking the Marymere Falls Trail, which is about 1.7 miles out and back. It's got some steep elevation at the end, if you think there's some steps going up to the waterfall, and then there's a waterfall viewing point. But down here on ground level, there is an amazing little mossy forest, which is a spoiler for what we're probably going to do tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully very beautiful walk.
This hike is a really good entry into the Pacific Northwest because you've got lush forest, greenery, mossy trees, flowing creeks, a large mountain looming behind the forest, an impressive waterfall, and you'll likely get rained on or at least soaked with sweat from the humidity. Oh, and you'll probably get attacked by mosquitoes because they are absolutely everywhere in the Pacific Northwest. This mossy wonderland is quite magical walking through, and I actually think it was more impressive than the waterfall itself.
So we just finished the Marymere Falls hike, which is about 2 mile roughly, hike out and back. It's very beautiful, there's an awful lot of elevation at the end. You got some steps, but it's absolutely fine. It's like a pretty easy hike. Pretty nice way to spend what are we on, Monday afternoon, so.
We're driving along Lake Crescent at the moment, and it's quite a big lake. We'll have to look it up, but I think it's about 30 miles long. We've been following it for a while, but it's a pretty lake. It's right in the interior of the Olympic Peninsula, so yeah, it's pretty nice around here, and it's very misty today, as you can see. It's been a bit rainy today, but yeah, this is like massive Pacific Northwest vibes, this sort of weather. After about 30 miles we may well be coming to the end of Lake Crescent. It's narrowing and I can see a bank. So what do you reckon, babe? It was about 30 miles probably. Here's the edge. See these people? There's the edge of Lake Crescent. Lake Crescent is in fact only 11 miles long, but it is still one of the largest lakes within the Olympic Peninsula. So many of the roads in Washington looked exactly the same, just straight roads lined with evergreen trees. Mum's made us a little curry out of packets.
Bye from, where are we? Olympic National Park.